Hey, Kisses from Kenya is produced by Democrats Abroad Kenya, but everything you hear in this podcast reflects our personal perspectives
Yes,
as,
they might.
as Americans living in Kenya.
Yes, nothing we say should be taken as the official stance of Democrats Abroad Kenya, Democrats Abroad Global, or the Democratic Party. This is an entertainment space and not an official policy platform.
Thank you. Yeah, but I'm telling you, wait, are we recording? Let me just say this. Okay, I don't want to. Oh, be careful. I don't want to out somebody because I don't know if they'd want me to say.
Well, you're not gonna tell his government name, right?
No. But anyway. We already discussed this, so thank you. Sorry about that. Yeah. So anyway, guess where I went 2 weekends ago? No, 3 weekends ago.
I thought we talked about this already.
No, we didn't. Did we? No, we didn't record since then. You said when I came back to talk about it.
Oh.
I told you I was going.
Ah.
Oh, you need a higher seat? You want a phone book? You want a phone book? I know we did not talk about me going to see Michael Jackson. I said I was concerned about when I went if people would be dancing. And my concern was actually very true. I was one of the only ones dancing in my seat hard till I was sweating. And at least there was one person in front of me that just kept doing this at the screen. And that was like, okay, good. And it was me who was like, when he'd sing, I was like, yes. Like I was in church, but it was great. I did dress up. I wore my loafers, my white socks, black pants, and only one other person when I was coming in, only one other person was dressed up, and she could be my niece. So she came over to the auntie. She's like, "Excuse me, you look great. Can I take a picture with you?" And I was like, "Yes, like niece and auntie." Cheese, her friends are not dressed up at all, but she's the only one. And at least when my friend came in a little later, she was dressed up too. But I wanted people to be having a party like I've seen all over the world. So I'm going to go see it again. And I intend to dance this time.
Okay.
So, did you see Michael yet?
No.
No. Why won't you see it? No, did we talk about this?
We talked about it, I think, like when we saw each other in between.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Because, of course, when you did not tell me, because I remember you were like, there were certain things you didn't want to tell me before I went. Yeah. But at the end, when we were walking out, I was like, and I didn't know what the deal was with Diana Ross at the time.
Yeah, that was when we talked about it.
Yes, because I said, how could they not? But even before I talked to you, I'm saying, I was like, how could they not have shown Diana Ross? And that's when I started looking and said, oh, she said she'd sue them if they even mentioned her.
She don't play.
No, but
Auntie Diana.
And now, in retrospect,
which, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I left you in the whiz.
I'm sure she's watching.
Scrubbing the internet for mention.
Because she's really bored.
Unless it's Tracy, if you're watching, love you.
Hey, too. What? What? Heart all around for Tracy. Oh, you want to introduce us? Sorry, again, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, we're over here chatting. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Kisses from Kenya. I'm Brendan.
I'm Vuyanzi. Just swallow my water. I mean, swallow. Just kidding. I don't. I do not swallow. I can't.
Lies you tell.
I can't. Why am I talking about that? But this is what I do want to say. I do want to say this.
I told you if there's a Janet Jackson biopic, I will be seated.
Yeah, but you need to go to the Michael one too. It's dope. But this part is really important because I was looking at one of these, videos about Michael Jackson and Diana Ross's dynamic. And apparently, but she was only 14 years older. The way it was, and I know you said because he was a little boy, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But when they became grown, she was only 14 years older than him, which now, these days, that's nothing. I mean, I've had affairs with men who were 17 years old.
So, if one of, your girlfriends, slept with one of your kids that she had met, when they were a child.
No, I think...
Just because your child is no longer a child, would you be okay with it?
No, not if it's my kid. Get away from him. And by the way, they used to always be looking at my sons. I can't stand it. So you hit a note. And I told them, you will not be my daughter-in-law ever.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fine.
And there you go.
But it's interesting.
No, I mean, like, I'll watch it at some point. It's just like, I mean, like, my sister who is 8 years older than me was the one who was like crazed for Michael Jackson, especially when we were kids, like up through like the Thriller era. She like was obsessed.
Yeah, but what
I never like. I think I was like a little too young. Like I like kind of missed the boat.
But even afterwards, you didn't grab a hold of the boat. And the reason why I asked that is because my daughter was even obsessed. She was obsessed with watching the Jackson story. It was like the miniseries.
Yeah.
And she's only like she's younger than you, but she was obsessed.
No, I watched that.
But what did you feel? You didn't feel that made you obsessed with Michael Jackson himself?
No, I was always more into the Jackson 5 and Janet.
Oh, by the way,
but again, I was never anti. It was just like
you're so mad about this. It makes me upset. I want you to be more than mad about Michael Jackson. I want you to get excited with me. Like I want that from you.
I think it was also like I don't know, like
what is that?
I think it was like I think also part of it was like me coming of age as like a young boy around the time that all the stuff was happening with him and the young boys. Like I always just found him like a little weird.
Definitely weird.
And it's one of those where it's like again, like I appreciate the art.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean there will be like probably never like another dancer like Michael Jackson. There probably will never be another
okay, sir.
like...
I don't even want you to say anything more because it's a performer. He's not just a dancer. He's a performer. And for you to whittle it down to dancer, let me tell you, even right now, he is breaking records. How many years after he's been dead? He's breaking 17 years.
Like I said.
Oh, wait, one more thing, because Michael Jackson, okay, one more thing.
When they do the biopic that has the Rhythm Nation tour on it, I will be there, because Janet, obsessed.
Okay, I think I feel like I've gotten more obsessed with her as I've gotten older, because when I see her now, I'm like, she's so beautiful. Like that's how I feel, and seems so humble yet confident.
Yeah.
However, oh wait, two more things about Michael because I just am obsessed with him. I did go to his 30th anniversary concert. So that concert that many of you will see as you scroll on your Instagram, where it was like the last time he and his brothers performed. Can you feel it? Boom, boom. Can you feel it? It was at Madison Square Garden. And let me tell you, we bought the seats for like $100, which at the time was a lot. And we were seated behind the stage. That's how, like, we still bought the tickets. But when Michael was coming up, we ran halfway through the garden. And then we just found some, like, because now people are on their feet. We found some place to stand. And it was so ironic. The place we chose to stand, it was my neighbors that lived on the next street. Out of how many tens of thousands of people, I stand next to my neighbors. And we were like, whoa, hi. And we danced and we danced and danced. And then I'll save this story for next time about what happened after the show. So you're going to have to tune in. So anyway.
And for those of y'all doing the mental math, yes, she just dated herself.
Did I? Wait, what was that?
It's like carbon dating, y'all.
Is this why you call me the elders?
I'm here like we should be gathered under the baobab tree so I can receive your wisdom. Next time I'll bring the stools. We can sit on the stools.
You guys, all right, fine.
She poured this water from a ceremonial gourd, y'all.
Stop! What's in the news, sir? Oh God!
You're the one who found this.
But I'm gonna start it, and okay. I'd love to get your deep dive because you like deep dive.
You sure like do.
Deep diving.
Hello.
Is anyone in there?
I got things I can tell you about that when we're not recording.
So okay, and I don't want to dwell on this because I know we have to be careful. However, I find it very interesting how the president of a neighboring country, the European government has said, oh no, we can't have her here because she did bad things during their elections, and I'm not here to talk about that, but she did this during the elections. This is what they're saying, the European Union. And so therefore we're going to stop all funding and violations of human rights. We want to go there. That country has blocked them actually from coming. And at least right now in May of 2026. So it brought up something for me in terms of how Western or aka white countries like to police Black and brown countries. Whereas there's a motherfucker in the United States who all over the world is violating something. And I mean, it's not me saying it. You can look in the news and this is a violation of this, Iran, this, that. Go police him. Stop policing. It doesn't mean that what people are doing are right. I'm not saying that. But it's like, I think it's more visceral to me than ever living in Kenya, because I feel like maybe 10 years ago, I would have heard the European Union say this, and I'm not going to lie to you. I would have been like, yeah, they're making a point there. You know, maybe there's some human rights violations. But now living here, I'm like, why are you policing here? Police over there. Police someone who looks like you. So anyway, I'd love to hear your feedback on that.
I don't know. I think it's tricky.
Talk about the trickiness of it.
Well, I mean, it's tricky in the sense of like, I mean, because we're seeing this a lot like across the continent and also like in the Caribbean, right? Where it's like this kind of like rejection of like certain groups, like, you know, France has gotten kicked out of like West Africa. And, like, you know, there's a lot of like reasons to celebrate that. I think I say tricky because, you know, there are very few instances in which I see any of these countries, like especially if we're talking about global South or Black and brown, you know, whatever kind of distinction we want to use. Like with the exception maybe of like CARICOM, you know, like the Caribbean Economic Community.
Okay.
Like, that's like one of the only places where I see this kind of feeling or a message of like, okay, like we'll get rid of these people and like we're going to rely on each other. Because I think the problem that I see is like with this country that we're talking about, or in other countries like in West Africa that have kind of booted out the Europeans. There's like arms wide open for the Chinese and the Russians. And
interesting.
There's this kind of interesting tension there too, right? Because, you know, I mean, you know, I identify as a socialist. Like I have a lot of friends who are socialists, or some are even communists. And, you know, so sometimes there's that kind of East-West distinction that's made. But I find it interesting because a lot of those same friends are also people who decry, you know, some of the things that we're talking about happening in this neighboring country that also happen sometimes in other countries. In the region.
That's where it's tricky.
You know,
vocabulary is tricky here.
You know, people are those same people are very against, you know, the state using violence or surveillance or all of these things. And I'm like, well, I hate to tell you, but like the people that we're treating with arms wide open are the people who do those things and create the tools that are utilized to do those things. And so it's like, you know, as much as you're like, great, that's a good fuck you to like the French. If at the one, if you're closing this window with this hand, but you're opening the door on the other side for these other people that are now going to like actually, you know, from like a human rights perspective, make things actively worse, then it's like, what are we doing? And I think that's like the problem that I often have is like, you know, like there's been a lot of like this talk of, you know, making fun of Emmanuel Macron for like saying like, we're the true Pan-Africanists. And so it's like, I don't want to get on here and be like, I'm a white Pan-Africanist, although I do identify as a Pan-Africanist.
I know I could, and I think though also your actions speak louder than those words.
You can say that. I won't say that just because
right. Okay.
It's not too mean to say that.
Right. I know it's not. However, I think I can see that. So,
but like that's what I'm looking for, right? It's like, I'm like, where are the people that are like, actually kick all of these colonial motherfuckers the fuck out, and like, let's make the AU better. Or, it's like, let's make the partnership between Caribbean, South American, and African countries better. Like, we don't need these people who want to come here and extract things. Like, because that's the part that resonates. But it's like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So it's like, if you're gonna kick out one, kick them all out.
Yeah, and that makes me think about a leader who was assassinated by America. I won't say names again. I'm being careful about how this leader, when I was in America and he was assassinated, the word was the story was.
Oh, Gaddafi. I'll say it. I'm white. I can say it. Hillary Clinton ain't going to storm in here and behead me. Or if you do, at least, like, take me for a weekend in Monaco first. Like,
but remember,
wine and dine me before you behead me. You can afford it.
But do you remember the story was he's killing his own people. We can't have this. Democracy cannot have this. He's killing his own people. And then when I came here and listen, I'm learning a lot here.
We could have a whole series of episodes on how it's like. You remember we had the other one where it was like, are we the baddies?
Yeah.
Are we the villain?
Yeah. Are we the imperialists? I mean, because then I came here and I learned a different story. Like, no, he was trying to actually bring the African countries together, one currency, which would have destroyed, right, the dollar.
Shake the table.
Yeah, like it would have destroyed the table, actually, right? So anyway, and actually I think that's a great segue, because from what really happened to what we heard happen to what really happened, it was lost in translation. Oh, you like that segue, don't you? So,
tell us about your lost in translation.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's still it's just a thing that happens every day. So I do have a bad habit. When I don't understand what someone says, I said, huh? Huh? And here, when I'm saying huh, it sounds like heh, and heh is agreeing. So when I'm actually asking you to repeat it here, huh, they're thinking I'm saying yes, hey. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, no. Like, can you say it again? So always that happens to me a lot. And I can't get out of this habit of saying, huh. I still say.
What are you trying to replace it with?
Pardon?
Yeah, that works. Or you can say excuse too.
Excuse me, pardon me. However, it's not natural. I have to build up this practice because it runs me into problems all the time. So
I was wondering what that was about when you wrote it.
Yeah, and I love you not like, and I like not knowing, so I wanted to share that with you. Huh versus head. You know why do you? You know what? Oh Lord, have mercy. What about you?
So mine's kind of like a downer.
Okay,
it's a bummer.
It's okay.
This happened yesterday.
Oh no.
So I was coming out of the hospital. I go for my monthly treatment.
Okay.
So I was like coming from the hospital, Aga Khan. I come outside, there's like this huge crowd of people like by the entrance.
Oh God.
And I was like, normally when I see that, it's because it's like about a boat accident or something.
Yeah.
It's like people are there because it's like they're trying to help or like whatever.
Yes.
But it was like people, they were just there. And like, there was like some kind of like shouting, and there were like different people kind of coming. And like, so I was trying to figure out what was happening. I'm like asking like the Boda guy who's coming to pick me.
Yeah.
Like nobody seems to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So we like get closer, and there's like a guy on the ground. So I'm thinking like, oh, it must be like a Boda guy who got like hit or something.
Yeah.
But like, so we're kind of stuck, right?
Oh like God, is he dead? Oh Jesus, go ahead.
So there's like a lot of people like kind of stuck because there's like traffic and like so we're kind of moving slowly.
Fuck.
So we get up there and I can see the guy on the ground, and his face is all bloody, and he's kind of like struggling to breathe.
Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Because like nobody's really doing anything. Then all of a sudden, this Boda guy goes and like sprays something on his shirt and lights it on fire.
Oh shit! You saw street justice.
Mm-hmm.
He must have stolen something.
So that like later, so I posted about it, and some people were like, yeah, he had a knife, and he had like taken someone's phone and like laptop or something on the Matatu. And it was just like, the reason I say lost in translation, because it's like, well, first of all, like what was really, I think, unnerving about it for me was that everyone was very just kind of blasé about the whole thing. It's like people were either like recording on their phones, they're just watching. And like, I don't know if it's like all the years of living in the South and like lynching and like the associations that I have with like mob justice in that sense. But it's just like, it's like, obviously, like I have no problem with people getting justice for like a wrong that is committed. But it's like you essentially like murdering someone like in the streets, like, and especially like all those things, like none of those. I'm not making an excuse for you.
But you're saying none of those
in an
crimes
armed
justify
fashion trying to steal from someone. Like that's shitty, right?
Yeah.
But like
the murder because of it.
Yeah, and it's like you're not actually fixing. I've always, for the most part, viewed like crime as more of like a structural issue than like an individual issue.
Yes.
Like there are some people that are just not good people, and that's why it's been complicated, because like I am pro death penalty in some instances, which has caused friction sometimes with me, especially politically with like people that I align with. But it's like, if you're like an unrepentant like rapist or like child molester or murderer, like serial killer, like
I understand that.
It's like, if you don't really belong in society anymore because you've essentially gone so far down that road that there's like no coming back. That's one thing. But it's like, for the most part, it's like, if you're stealing stuff because you're hungry, like you don't deserve to die.
Right.
So it was really tough. And I kind of like was sitting with it yesterday, and it was interesting because then when I posted about it, like a lot of my Kenyan friends responded and were like, "Are you okay?" And it's like, but some of them were also like, "Well, he must have done something." And I was like, that's the lost in translation to me, is that it's like both of us can see the same thing and have such different reactions.
I don't want to stay here too long, because it took me a while to get over when I saw someone last year get killed because I didn't see what they had done. I just saw, like you, the aftermath of it. And I was in my house on my balcony looking down at the street. And it bothered me. It shook my core. I screamed from the balcony. When I saw the guy pouring what, I was like, no, this can't be. Like when I saw him pouring on the guy on the ground. And I'm thinking, no, it can't be gasoline. It can't be. And then boom, he drops a match. The guy lit up. And dude was still fucking like kind of like alive, right?
No, this guy was definitely still
burned alive. And so it bothered me so much. However, a difference in how my Kenyan friends responded. Well, first of all, they were very sensitive towards me because they knew, like, that's really bad for you to have seen that. And then it was like, nobody wants to see someone die. But to some that I spoke to, it was like, but sometimes that's the only way you'll get them now. They won't come on that street. Well, for how long, though?
Yeah. So, well, and it's like, I get it because, I had my experience with the police. I don't know if we talked about that on the podcast, but
not on the podcast.
And so I'm aware that it's like there are also issues with whether or not the system will give any justice in that situation or not. Right. So it's like, I understand why there's like a bit of like a desperation to it, where it's like we have to do something, and like those people that are supposed to do something aren't going to, so we're going to do something right here, right now.
But that goes back to the whole structural problem, though, right? All of this is a part of the structure.
Well, and it's like, you can't bemoan like the use of state violence, but you're in the streets committing violence.
That is lost. That could come up, and I never want to see that again. I know you don't either, and I didn't even see it up close. You saw it up close.
maybe from like me to like where the
Yeah, I
where the
never want
camera
to see
is.
any shit like that ever again. It did disturb my soul, and it
Yeah.
sounds like it did the same for you. So let's talk about joy, because oh,
Joy,
joy, man,
joy,
joy,
joy.
joy,
You can
joy.
go first.
Yeah, yeah. So right now it's giving me joy, and I just happen to be black, so we'll call it black joy.
Incidental black joy.
Incidental. Oh, we can call it incidental black joy. We can call it that. But it's a transition. So right now, even as much as we're kicking and laughing, I've been going through some things, right, that have been difficult. And it is the transition in how I've been coaching into something else. And so finally, I can almost see clearly now that the rain is gone, and I see the direction that my coaching is going in, which is
I can see all that's in my way.
We can hold on to that long note. Hey. Okay, so anyway, something like that. So, but it's starting to feel good, and it's bringing me joy to finally feel like answers are coming to me. And so I just wanted to share that. Sometimes we're in the midst of problems and depressions, and I'm not saying I'm fully out of the woods, but it feels good to like finally start to get that a little bit of clarity. So I just wanted to share that. For the podcast, we just rub fingers. What was that called?
We were figuring it.
Now they're running to the YouTube. What?
Let me go watch that. That's a good way to drive up views. Fingering each other. That should be the title of the episode. Who gets fingered this week?
Your joy, your queer
Mine
joy.
is also incidental, because they can't all be about me getting my back blown. Although that is a consistent source of joy.
Oh, God.
That is not incidentally queer. So me and my bestie Rita,
Yes.
you know Rita.
Yes.
So we've enacted something that she has a flair for the dramatic in a good way.
Yeah.
She has a good razzle dazzle.
Yes.
So she has deemed them our geriatric walks. Because especially like women of a certain age, it's like they'll like have like their like 10 a.m. walk with like their bestie, where they like go for a walk around like the estate in like Miami Gardens.
So I have 2 dates each week with my geriatric friends.
This is like our geriatric walk. So it's like literally like we just like walk and like talk shit for like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's so cool.
But, we'll get in like 5-6 kilometers, like sometimes more.
That's so awesome.
Be hoofing it. And it's nice because it's like it's like a chance to kind of like see, because it's like, I mean, I think I like see a lot more of Nairobi than a lot of people because I take motorbikes everywhere, but you see even more when you walk, so it's like walking through neighborhoods that I ride through a lot, but I don't necessarily go on foot, so you get to see like new perspectives of a place.
I love that.
Like see the people. So that's like bringing me some joy.
I love it.
And I also, I finally figured out how to do the podcast episodes in iMovie.
Oh,
I taught myself.
When I was pushing you to do
Beyonce
iMovie.
coached me into it. She created a coachable moment. I was being very anti.
A little resistant, a little heavy on the resistance.
It's like, it's not perfect, but so I like, what I did was I exported the intro. So like, I exported the intro without the title.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that people really want to hear how you did this?
Fuck you too, then.
No, but
raggedy
do you feel
bitch.
Like, by the way,
you raggedy bitch.
When you hang out with Rita, do you feel like we're the same in a way? Because our birthdays are 2 days apart. We're both Geminis, by the way. Do you feel anything like you just called me a raggedy bitch? Have you ever called her a raggedy bitch before?
Probably, but I'd be more afraid that she'd kill me.
Instead of laughing like I do. Yeah, I just, oh gosh. Okay, so anyway, you guys, I know some of you are watching us right now on YouTube, and we want to remind you that we are on your favorite podcast platform. Yes, your favorite. We are there. So you can listen to us on the go, in the car, while you cooking.
And if you're there and you want to watch us and see our beautiful faces,
okay,
then you
because
can watch
some
us
of
on
us
YouTube.
do our makeup for this show, and we want to
I
look
also
good.
do my makeup.
I know, with your
No, I
pomade.
put in my berries.
And no matter where you are, give us some thumbs up. Do leave comments.
Yes.
And especially if you want to hear something from us that you haven't heard us talk about.
Yeah, our email is listed. You can email
oh,
us.
yes,
You can comment.
Folks, be in touch with us. We want to grow this. And don't forget, if you are abroad, vote. I should say
register to vote.
Yeah, votefromabroad.org. Yeah, votefromabroad.org, because right now these are challenging times. So this has been Kisses from Kenya. Mwah.
See you next time.
Deuces.